Hey there, how are you today? My name is Dana Demara, and you've landed on AstroPast. So, welcome to, I'm going to actually combine the weekly forecast with the new moon Aries recording because I feel like this whole week really falls under one really beautiful statement, and that is I am. It's the theme for the week in all my classes, my own personal meditations, and it really comes from this new moon and how it's positioned. I just returned from San Francisco actually this morning and played with this theme I am as a powerful tool to remember um, really the potency of these two words. And so as we move toward this new moon Aries on March 31st at 11:24 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we move toward this new moon Aries, be super mindful about what words and phrases and energy you're putting right after you say I am. They really are the creators of your life. And if we're not aware of what we're saying, we'll be unconsciously creating our life. And all of us have been there. So with this new moon Aries, I would highly encourage you to make that your little mantra for the week. I do want to show you my screen because it is a beautiful, I've been doing this for a very long time and I have never seen a chart like this. So I'm going to share this with you. Usually we have kind of planets all over the place, but you'll notice in this in particular new moon, we've got planets clustered really in two different places and only two really, well, not two major aspects, but all these planets making aspects to each other. And so I'm going to explain that to you. So this new moon is in Aries because the moon is new because the moon and the sun are sitting right next to each other at 11 degrees in Aries. Now, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac wheel. So that's why this is kind of a, I don't want to say a big deal, but a big deal. This is kind of a big deal. It's like the new year according to the astrology wheel. And for people like me who watch the stars and the planets and pay a little bit of attention, it's important. And so this is when you're really starting off this new energy for yourself. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. So we have the new moon, we have the sun and the moon both in Aries. And then we also have Mercury sitting right there. And Mercury is actually going to conjunct the sun this week, which is always a powerful, it's a powerful energy force. Then when Mercury and the sun conjunct each other, basically it's almost as if you have like a megaphone to the universe. And so be really mindful about, again, what you're saying, how you're saying it, who you're saying it to. Are you wasting your energy? Are you being emotionally mature with your words? What are you creating, right? So with Mercury, the sun, the moon, and then Chiron in Aries, this is what we call a stellium, and that's just right here. So we have all these four planets sitting in Aries, and it's kind of a big deal, First of all, the fact that the sun and the moon are sitting with Chiron, this is all about healing, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But the fact that it is also, all these planets are conjuncting each other, it amplifies your ability and opportunity, I guess I should say, your opportunities for healing through communication, through, short distance travel, through paying attention to how you are assimilating and interpreting information, really being open to hearing things from a different perspective. And like I said in the very beginning, paying attention to your I am statements. What are you saying after you say the word I am? It's creating your life, so you want to be aware. So with this four planet conjunctions, they are really rare and powerful. This is like not something that happens every day. It's not something that happens even every year, if I'm being quite honest. So being really mindful about what your intentions are for this new moon. What do you want to create? What, let me stop share for just a second. what is it that you're really looking to turn the corner on in your life? Maybe it's letting go of something. Maybe it's diving into a new project. Maybe it's opening your heart. Maybe it's saying you're sorry. Like whatever it is for you, this new moon is the new moon to do that, because it's not only the first one of the astrological year, but it's also sitting in Aries, sign of the ram, moving forward with all these other planets. And it's it's an opportunity not to be missed. I guess that's really the only way I can explain it without sounding like I'm redundant. It's an opportunity not to be missed. I've taken a ton of notes, so I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Now, the biggest thing, honestly, I'm going to share my screen one more time. The biggest thing is this little guy, Chiron, right? So Chiron is known to be the wounded healer. And, Chiron wasn't even thought of as a planet until like 1977, I think, or 73. So Chiron used to be thought of as an asteroid, and really Chiron is the key to a lot of our healing. In fact, Chiron is the key to our healing. Chiron is our deepest wound. It's like most of us, most of us have had some sort of wounding from childhood. I mean, even if you haven't, and you're like, I don't know what she's talking about, for the most part, we pull in or adapt or integrate our parents' patterns. And some of those patterns are really helpful in our life, and some of them aren't for whatever reason. It's just, Chiron holds the key to any kind of trigger, any kind of patterning, any kind of space where we still feel unloved or unlovable or not worthy. It's that not enoughness, right? And then once you recognize this, whatever this is, your greatest gift, your greatest wound, your greatest opportunity for healing, you awaken to, wow, I have the tools. And this new moon, honestly, sitting with Chiron is offering everyone that opportunity, everyone. And what you'll need to do is look at the area of your chart where Aries sits. Okay, so wherever Aries is, you'll want to look to see where that is, and that's the area that you want to focus on. And it would depend upon the houses, what house Aries sits in on your chart. But it's really powerful with these four planets: Mercury, Sun, Moon, and Chiron, all about the healing. Chiron has been in Aries since 2018, and it will stay there until 2027. So Chiron stays in Aries and Pisces the longest out of all the zodiac signs. Mostly Chiron will just stay in a certain zodiac sign for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But with Aries and with Pisces, it stays in here quite a long time. So anybody that has Chiron in their Aries in their birth chart has been most likely experiencing a bit more healing opportunities than most. Maybe not, I mean, this is all for under interpretation, but this is an opportunity to heal. And, some of the things that we can focus on is compassion and grace and self-love, and really allowing ourselves to feel where that harmony sits in our body, like what is allowing us to feel a sense of connection and feel a sense of harmony and feel a sense of peace. Where do we feel peaceful? Where do we feel comfortable? Where do we feel held? Right? And then go in that direction. And you can gently bless the other bits and pieces and let them go. And sometimes I feel like, especially when I work with people individually, they have a sense of guilt of letting go. Maybe it's a relationship or a friendship or even, a job or a, a long time relationship. They feel guilty. I don't want to let this family member or this friend or this relationship go. I feel bad. guilt is kind of guilt is a wasted emotion, and guilt is one thing that will keep you from healing. It really will. And so allowing ourselves to have this like infinite amount of compassion for ourselves and for others as we embark on potentially a new healing journey is paramount here. I'm going to share my screen one more time. I just love looking at this. If I'm being honest, it's like we have 4 planets in Aries and 3 planets in Aquarius. I haven't even gotten to that yet, which is pretty amazing. So this is a really big time for healing, and I want you to just pay attention to a couple of things, especially this week, and that's your I am statements. What are you saying after I am? And also, where do you want to heal? What do you want to let go of? Like, where are you most still in friction, or still in guilt, or a feeling of what we call in yoga parigraha, where we're grasping, so that letting go. With the Aries New Moon too, Aries is that push forward, and Aries wants us to move forward, right? Aries is like, let's go. It's time to go. Come on. It's like first. I'm the first zodiac sign. Let's go and do it. And the one thing that you want to do before you just kind of push yourself out into your new plan, definitely do it, but make sure that you are tending to the bits and pieces in your heart that are potentially frayed or scattered, or hurt. So just make sure you pay attention to that. You don't want to put off. I had a conversation with my teacher not too long ago. You don't want to put off your work in the world or your service to the world. You don't want to put off your service to the world or your work to the world, in the world, your contribution, in spite of your healing. You don't want to say, well, I can't do that now because I have all this healing that I have to do. I have just not. That's that not enoughness. That feeds the not enoughness. We don't want to be flinging our triggers around either, right? So the paramount thing here is to be present and paying attention to those parts of us that are still a little bruised or broken or hurt, but not getting so sucked in that we're not taking a risk in our life, or we're not speaking our truth, or we're not letting go where we need to let go. So it's a delicate balance, but that's what this new moon is about. So it's, I was at the airport this morning, and I was leaving San Francisco, and I said to the lady who scanned my boarding pass, I said, "How are you today?" And she said, "I'm so grateful." And I was like, oh, I'm going to use that every day. When people ask me how I am, how are you? I'm so grateful. Because even if we have a hurt heart, or even if we're in confusion or transition, or we have this little tendril that's still in the healing process, we can still be grateful, and we can still live our life, and we can still put out into the world those gifts that we're supposed to give. So just finding that balance is really important. Acceptance, yes, yes, yes. And then the other thing I want to talk about before we move on, or before I let you go here, is this little cluster of planets right here. So we have Venus, and then we have Saturn, and we have Mars, all in Aquarius, right? So Venus is your value. Venus is financial security, abundance, beauty, love, right? This very feminine energy. And it's sitting right next to Saturn, which is all about restrictions and rules and structures. And then on the other side is Mars. And Mars is the initiator, the masculine, get shit done. And Saturn is like right in between the two, which I find interesting. So there's so many ways to interpret this. And here's one way I interpret it is take your mission or your purpose or your passion seriously right now, because it's coming to you in the speed of light, and opportunities are coming to you with the speed of light. And Mars wants you to go for it, which is amazing. And, you know, this idea of following your passion with this type of transit will offer abundance. And having this aspect, it's almost it's not quite a sextile, but it's close enough. You know, it's pretty close to this this whole conglomerate here in Aries, the stellium in Aries. So it really is offering up an opportunity for you to like take your seat at the table, for lack of a better word. You know, take a seat at the table, allow yourself to be in a place of um, accepting the past and accepting who you are becoming, and also allowing yourself to move forward in a healing process, right? So some astrologists would call this like a healing crisis. Like if you haven't been paying attention to your wounds and you've been kind of shoving things under the rug, it will come up. If you've been working at it slowly, surely, with intention and devotion, you know, this may be a time for you to sit the last little bits and give it some grace and gratitude. But the important piece is don't miss the opportunity because you're stuck in the past, right? Don't miss the opportunity because you have fallen into not enoughness. Remember that you're like more than enough. You have this massive gift to give, and allow yourself to share it. Just give yourself that gift and give the world that gift. We need it right now. So I believe that's about it for this new moon. Here's what I will say. I would love to read your chart. So if you are kind of like, what was she talking about? Where is my Aries? How is this affecting me? I'm your gal. I would love to read your chart. Just shoot me a note at danadamara.com and I will send you all the information on how to make that happen. And then you can follow me on Instagram. I will post a little bit more about the astrology this week. But the biggest thing this week, I am. What are you? Like 3 words. What are you? What do you want to exude this week? I'm going to do that. I am grateful. How are you today? I'm grateful. Try it. I wonder what would happen in the world if everybody said that every day. How are you today? I'm grateful. Wow, I'm going to use that. And then it's like a domino effect, right? Well, thank you so much. That was really fun. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day, and just love on yourself. Have a gorgeous day. Namaste.